Hey guys, it's Mason and Shane here, Team Severson, with a Tips Tuesday coming at you. And today we want to talk about for sale by owner. This is a topic we get asked about every once in a while. We've got clients that just have an honest question for us. Does it make sense to just sell on their own, to sell by owner? And so that's what we want to talk about today. Can you save money? Does it make sense? Does it depend on your situation? Let's kind of talk about that. So Shane, what do you think?
Yeah, so I mean, we do. We get this a lot, and from time to time, people will ask us. And as you guys know, if you know us very well, we're not trying to just get a quick close, right? Just get a quick. I mean, we're trying to be consultants for our clients. We're trying to treat you guys well and educate you guys well. And I would say it seems like, on paper, it makes sense to for sale by owner. It seems like you save 6%, and honestly, that can be a huge chunk of money. And sometimes that can mean the difference between getting your dream home on the backside after you sell, you go buy. Here's a couple things that I would point out, and I would say, Mason, this is almost every time, 99.9% of the time, this happens. I would say when you for sale by owner, real estate is driven by real estate agents. Very few times do you have a buyer out there that finds a deal and just goes and buys a house. A lot of times an agent is involved. So if my clients are out and they see a for sale by owner, the first person they call is me saying, hey, can we get into this house? So 90% of the time you're still paying the 3% to the buyer's agent. So really now it's not 6%, it's 3%. Even if it was 6%, it's still, I feel the same way. So here's the deal, and here's how I put it. The question to you as a seller is, do you want 5 buyers or do you want 50 buyers? And do you think the price is going to be driven? And I'm not answering that. I'm simply just asking a question. Do you think having 5 buyers, you're going to have a higher price? Or how high will 50 buyers drive your price up? And that really is the case. When you are out showing homes, Mason, and you see a house, how many times is that house showing? How many times, how many people do you have interested in that normally? What would you say?
Oh gosh, I mean, 30, 50.
Tons, right?
Tons.
I mean, tons, like right off the bat. So as a for sale by owner, what happens is they will get an offer fairly quick and they think, I won, I saved that money. The difference is the price differential could be massive. So if you hire an agent, we properly market and we get 50 buyers, that price could be 50 grand higher, 100,000 higher, and so forth. So that's really the difference. And what I normally see statistics show is you're about 10% lower if you do for sale by owner. So you're saving 3% to lose 10%, you're upside down by 7%. If you save the whole 6%, you're still upside down by 4%. And if you are a seller out there and you don't believe these statistics, you don't think it's the same for you, trust me, Mason and I, or me, or Mason, whoever you're working with, we're not going to sit down and sell you anything. I'm just going to break down what the benefits are to you. And sometimes we have told clients, sell this by yourself. We'll help you because we really do want to help our clients. Here's the other last thing real quick that I'll throw out is there's other negotiation tools by having an agent that's in the market that knows. As is. All homes are bought as is now, for the most part. When you for sale by owner, you don't know those techniques. Buyer comes in, they do an inspection, and they ask for a ton of stuff to be done. Well, if you use an agent, that's not, you don't have to do that. And the biggest one of all of them is the appraisal gap waiver. And why don't you close us off and just talk to us about what appraisal gap waiver is and why, as a seller, you would want to have that?
Yeah, so I mean, the appraisal gap waiver is it's like the bread and butter in the market right now.
Right now it is.
It's pretty much you are going to have a really hard time getting under contract as a buyer unless you're providing some sort of appraisal gap. And a long story short, or a long explanation short, an appraisal gap is essentially the extra cash that's brought to closing to make up for the difference in what you offer and what it might appraise at. So say on a $500,000 home, you come in and offer $550,000, but that home only appraises at $520,000. There's a $30,000 gap there.
That without that, you'll lose 30 grand.
Exactly. As a seller, you're going to lose 30 grand unless you have a buyer that's willing to bring extra cash. Because as a buyer, you're only going to get a loan at what it appraises for at $520,000, but you offered $550,000. So as a seller, you want to look for a buyer that's going to come in and bring that extra cash to make up for that gap right there. So that's just, it's just a small example of something that most sellers wouldn't really know or understand. And that's a part of the negotiation. That's a part of
that right there is 30. The one example is $30,000, and do we see that every day? Right?
Oh, every single day.
Like right now, every single contract is, I would say, minimum 30 grand, if not higher, and that's 6% of a $500,000 house.
Right.
You just saved yourself by hiring an agent on one deal, and that's the low end. So I agree.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Well, if you have questions, if you want an explanation further than what we've provided already, if you disagree with us, whatever it may be, reach out. We'd love to chat. And thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week.
All right. God bless. We'll see you next week.